your project. Finishes such as appliances, fixtures, cabinetry, and countertops not may, but will have a major impact on your bottom line. There's so many choices to make that you really need to be aware of what it is you're selecting and how it will hit your bottom line.
You want to begin with a conceptual design for your project. Remember, erasing lines is much easier and cheaper than moving walls.
Project specifications. In addition to a scaled floor plan, your remodel design should include each of the following. A scope of work or a work order, which details everything that's to be done, right down to door bumpers. Elevations that enhance the plan. Perspectives that make it easier to visualize your project. An electrical plan that details outlets, lighting, and appliance circuitry. Plumbing fixture and mechanical specifications and locations. Cabinetry details, including size, style, and accessories, and a really well-detailed finish selections.
The first thing that we do is we create an as-built plan. What exists? Then the proposed design is created using this existing plan. And once the two are complete, you have plans to compare with. What exists and what's new.
And speaking of new, the new design should correspond with the scope of work. That's your wish list. It reflects the major elements included in your project. The floor plan is then used to create more finely detailed plan elements such as elevations, the electrical plan, cabinet schedules, door and window schedules, and all of the finishes.
Well, the interior elevations are really important. Looking at a bird's eye view of a plan, you really can't tell what's going on. So the elevations are created to finely detail your floor plan. The elevation displays the work from a different perspective and contains details that are way too numerous to be contained in a floor plan, like this elevation of kitchen cabinets. What goes where?
The electrical plan is created to finely detail the electrical work required for the project. I don't know anyone who cares about the electrical plan or the electrical components. I think everyone likes to talk about cabinets and countertops, sinks and faucets, but no one wants to talk about the important aspect, which is electrical. The details in the electrical plan are too numerous to include in the floor plan, so the electrical plan incorporates locations for outlets, switches, lighting, and appliance circuitry. All of these fine details are very important to understand the full cost of a project.
I think that the finish schedule is, without a doubt, one of the single most important documents included in the plans. It absolutely should finitely detail every product that's to be incorporated into your project. Details can include the manufacturer, model, color, texture, size, finish, dimensions, and special conditions which may apply to your particular product. And you may not be able to see the fine print, but roofing, garage doors and openers, door hardware and bumpers, millwork, drywall, electrical finish, light fixtures, vent fans, exterior painting, interior painting. The more detail that you require, the less grief will be experienced during the construction and the more complete your estimate.
So this is an example of a 3D perspective of your project. This is especially a kitchen. So again, where everything goes. So the elevations are one level. You don't see depth. Here you see the perspective, how wide, how tall, how deep. Where's the dishwasher in relationship to the sink? How much workspace do I have to the right of the sink or the left of the sink? What's going to happen with each of the cabinets? How's the countertop edge detail going to look? It just picks up every finite detail of how maybe the sink works in relationship to the range, the microwave, and the refrigerator. The range, the refrigerator, and the sink are called your work triangle. So you want to know how to move around your kitchen and do it comfortably.
Here's another perspective. Same kitchen, showing a built-in speed oven, a beverage wine refrigerator. You see the side-by-side refrigerator, crown molding. Everything is well detailed. You know, when we began doing this 40 years ago, our designs were not on computer. They were on a on a drafting board. But boy, have things changed. Technology has really made it quite wonderful for folks who are considering making home improvements. And that includes the 360-degree view, in this case of a kitchen project. So you can just have a wonderful look in a 360-degree look, the nook, the exterior sink, the island, the range and range hood, the refrigerator, the pantries, flooring, lighting, ceiling. You get a real bird's eye view.
You know, when you're doing an addition, it really is nice to know that you can get a look. You want to go back, James? There you go. Details for additions are very, very important. You know, we, as remodeling people, provide something called an aftermarket tangible. That means that you don't see what we're going to do until after we do it. Unlike when you go into the store to buy a shirt, you can pick out your shirt right there. You want red plaid or blue polka dots, whatever it is you want. So this planning process gives you something that you can look at in advance to help you understand the aftermarket tangible. You'll be adding, if you're adding to a building, or if you're adding on or building an accessory dwelling unit, you'll need a plot plan, exterior elevations, foundation and wall framing plan, a roof framing plan, structural plan and details, and even Title 24 energy compliance engineering. And I have to tell you that picture at the top is the proposed drawing, and down at the bottom you see the actual construction going on. This is the general condition sheet. It's usually the first sheet in a set of plans. It enumerates important project information as it relates to the various construction codes. There are abbreviations and symbols on this page, an index, a vicinity map, and other important information that will help interpret the plan sheets as you go along reading them.
The plot plan, that's a bird's eye view of your lot and your neighborhood. You see this particular plot plan shows the street, and it's required whenever construction occurs outside the existing residence. So it shows lot size, the dimensions of each side of the lot, Setbacks, which of course you know are a requirement of the zoning, how close you can get to your property line. Lot coverage, there are limitations with respect to the amount of construction that you can place over an existing lot. Topography, utility locations, easements, and other information that will be required and needed by the municipal planning and building officials.
Exterior elevations are another important aspect which are required whenever changes are made to a home's exterior. And this is regardless of whether you're adding on or just changing the exterior. Exterior elevations show wall finish. They show window size and locations, door size and location, exterior trim details, roofing, gutters, decks, stairs and porches, chimneys, garage doors, and so many other architectural finishes.
Then there's the foundation and the framing details. You're going to be required, whatever building or addition you're going to be doing, you're going to have to do structural details and plans for the framing for the building department. So this shows exactly what's going to happen here at this project.
The roof framing plan, what's the roof going to look like? It's a big piece of the aesthetics and curb appeal of your home. And it's required. The roof framing plan, like other structural drawings, is required whenever a new or expanded roof is to be built. So there's a roof plan and a roof framing plan, and it's essential.
Next one is 3.
Structural plan and details. Actually, a structural engineer will probably need to be involved in your project with any addition that you do, even if it's a 3-foot by 8-foot closet that you're adding on to the outside of your house. So structural drawings and calculations are an absolute must when any work is to be done that will modify the existing structure inside or outside.
Okay, you've done your wish list, you have done your conceptual drawing, you've created your final drawing, and at least as close to final as possible. There may be subsequent changes once the estimate's done. And then it's time for the estimate. And you want a thorough estimate, not a guesstimate. The estimate has to detail all costs associated with your project, such as permits and engineering, all labor and material, any temporary services like a temporary toilet, temporary fencing, whatever. A well-detailed and thorough estimate will typically be higher than other vague bids lacking detail. But it'll prevent unnecessary change orders, cost overages, and project delays. So as you see on the right, everything's detailed. You can go into the grocery store these days and get a printout of what you purchased, and the same should be true when it comes to your building project.
Well, here's a picture of a very, very astute and thorough looking contractor. Your contractor and his crew will literally become household guests for the duration of your project. You need to feel comfortable with your contractor and be convinced that he or she can deliver the quality that you expect on time and in budget. Contractor shopping is one of the most daunting tasks in the remodeling process.
And when you're picking out a contractor, you want to know that his qualifications are just as they should be. And you can avoid becoming a statistic by ensuring that each contractor uses the same plan and specifications to obtain an apples for apples bid for your project. Only consider contractors who meet the following qualifications. And this is very serious. A valid contractor's license in good standing, and how you can check that is going to the Contractor's State License Board. This happens to be the web address for California. Experience with specific work that you're having done. Don't hire a painter to do a bathroom remodel. Workers' compensation and general liability insurance, these are a must. Does everything in writing, including an estimate, a contract, change orders, and verifies some references for you to check their work, talk to their prior clients, and is willing to complete a bank credit application to demonstrate his financial stability.
The contract, boy, a price on the back of a business card just doesn't do it. Your contract needs to include a reference to the plans and to the scope of work. It needs to have a fixed sum, not an open-end contract. Don't do time and materials. It needs to have firm start and finish dates that are realistic. And the owner and contractor's responsibilities need to be included. What are you going to do, and what is the contractor responsible for? How are changes to be handled? Are we just going to talk about it, or will there be a written change order process? How are disputes to be resolved? There's so many ways of that happening. And remember, there's a very special clause called a penalty clause that can apply when the contractor doesn't meet the required finish date.
Permits, that's an important aspect of any project. I will tell you that a permit is required for most remodeling projects. When in doubt, though, contact your local building department, your building officials. A permit provides an added level of protection to ensure that your project meets minimum code and health, safety, and sanitation codes. The contractor, by the way, cannot obtain a permit without proof of workers' compensation insurance. Warning, if you obtain the permit yourself, you become responsible for the entire cost of project injuries and code violations. Many people believe that getting a permit is like sending an engraved invitation to the tax assessor. This really isn't true. Updating a kitchen or bath can have little effect on tax valuation, and when thoughtfully presented, most projects will have a modest effect on property tax valuation. And you can check with the tax assessor in advance to see what effect your proposed improvement will have on property taxes.
Oh, the basics for electrical, plumbing, and heating and air conditioning. You know, codes have changed dramatically over the last 5 years, and I really mean dramatically. But they make your home safer and more convenient. However, they also make the installed cost of plumbing, electrical, and HVAC for most home improvements far more costly when compared to the old days.
Wow, we have some shocking information about electrical for you. Notice the little happy O and the sad faces. All outlets must be tamper-proof, and all wall receptacles in the plan shall be placed at 18 inches on center above the floor. All wall outlets in non-wet areas, that's bedrooms, living rooms, dining rooms, family room, den, etc., must be no farther than 6 feet apart and protected by an arc fault circuit interrupter, better known as an AFCI. All your wall outlets in wet areas, that's the kitchens, bath, laundry, garage, and the exterior, must be no farther than 4 feet apart and protected by a combination of the ground fault interrupter, GFCI, and an AFCI. All electrical outlets within 6 feet of sinks in bathrooms, garages, and within 6 feet 6 of a direct grade level access shall be ground fault interrupted and protected. Kitchens must also have at least two 20-amp countertop circuits These are for your small appliances.
Lots of people think that they can just pull cabinets and counters and plumbing fixtures and appliances and install new product in lieu of what currently exists. Be advised that one of the single biggest items that you'll need to deal with is behind the walls, and that includes electrical. Efficiency and safety. Separate circuits are to be provided for all major appliances now, including, but not limited to, the dishwasher, the garbage disposal, the refrigerator, the washer, dryer, water heater, microwave, range, cooktop, and oven. And in your home, you may have one duplex outlet that the dishwasher and garbage disposal are plugged into. That's no longer allowed. They now must be on independently grounded separate circuits with no shared neutral. So each circuit must be GFCI protected, which can be done at the source or in the electrical panel. When it comes to bathrooms, you need a 20 amp circuit now so that the hairdryer that you're using and the curling iron don't pop the breaker and end up in a short or fire. Outlets for other equipment within the same bathroom shall be permitted to be supplied from the same 20 amp branch circuit when that circuit supplies a single bathroom. At least one wall receptacle outlet shall be installed within 3 feet of the edge and adjacent to each basin location and shall be GFCI protected, and the outlet shall not be installed in a face-up position. All interior lighting must be high efficacy, that's energy efficient, LED, or fluorescent, and controlled by a dimmer switch. By the way, I love this outlet that's shown in this countertop. It's a countertop outlet. It's a periscope. It comes up. It can be inserted flat into the countertop. It's a great solution where no backsplash is available, and it's completely waterproof. You can pour a pitcher of water on it.
You know, not all of these electrical codes apply to every project, but we just want to make you aware of how extensive the electrical code is. At least one new light in bathroom shall be controlled by a vacancy sensor. All lighting over a shower or bathtub enclosed by walls and or an enclosure shall be marked suitable for wet locations. All lighting over a bathtub or shower with no enclosure shall be marked suitable for wet or damp locations. All recessed ceiling lights shall be IC rated. Smoke detectors shall be installed in all bedrooms and centrally located in all areas leading to bedrooms, one at each story, including basements. Carbon monoxide alarms are required in areas leading to bedrooms and on each floor level. All new outdoor lighting is to be high efficacy, to be controlled by an on-off switch, and include one of the following: a photocell and motion sensor, a photo control and automatic time switch control, astronomical time clock control, energy management control system.
Wow, you got all that? Well, there's a little bit more. A good lighting equals comfort and safety. Doesn't matter where in your home it is, light provides safety. But in the kitchen, when you're working on your countertop, under cabinet task lighting choices like LED is efficient and provides excellent light. Some of the models are dimmable, some may be linkable, and some have adjustable color. They can go from very bright to softer, and most are available in different lengths. LED strip lighting is a versatile alternative. It's a compact and easy to install system, and most systems allow for either direct wire or traditional plugins.
I love this. What a mix of lighting. And I should say that in addition to light provided by the range hood, There are recessed lights above the range hood. There are recessed lights at the perimeter of the soffit in the kitchen. There are the under cabinet LED task lights. And if you look at the glass cabinet, there's even LED lighting at the top of the interior of the cabinet. Really, really a great use of lighting. Bath fans! Shh! A fan can be quiet, believe it or not. Exhaust fans are required for bathrooms and are essential for exhausting unpleasant odors and controlling high levels of mildew causing humidity. Modern fans operate so quietly, I should say better modern fans operate so quietly that most people can't even hear them. Exhaust fans are required in all bathrooms, even those that contain a window. That's a reasonably new code, and the fan must be ducted to the outdoors. No, 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 not into the attic, not into the crawl space, or through an E-vent. Make sure that you get the right size fan. Fans are rated by the amount of air that they move, expressed in cubic feet per minute. That's CFM. An 80 CFM fan will accommodate most baths. 80 to 120 CFMs is really the sweet spot area. Most bath fans are available with heaters, motion and or humidity sensor activation, LED lighting, LED night lighting, and even an adjustable CFM feature. Keep in mind that when retrofitting a new high-efficiency fan, be prepared to increase the duct size. Look at the size of the port on the fan in the photograph, the exhaust port. It's dampered, and that will take up to a 6-inch duct as opposed to the 2-inch or 3-inch that we see in a lot of older homes.
All kitchens must contain an exhaust system which vents to the outdoors. Recirculating fans, by the way, are no longer allowed by code. A kitchen exhaust system must be rated for a minimum of 100 CFM or 5 air changes per hour and must meet the zone level, a new sound level of no more than 3.0 zones. Very, very quiet, much quieter than what you're used to. Your kitchen exhaust system may have to be upsized when a more powerful cooking surface is used. This is particularly true with a gas appliance. Be sure to check cooktop manufacturer specifications and how to proceed.
I have to tell you that Carol designed this kitchen. It's just beautiful. I love this range hood. It goes to show you that range hoods don't need to just be functional. They can absolutely be a gorgeous element in your kitchen. And she also designed the mosaic at the backsplash, which is just beautiful.
And you know
Great
what's
work,
nice
Carol.
about this range hood? All of the pieces and parts can go in the dishwasher. Okay, so if you're going to be shopping for cabinets for your kitchen and bathroom, you're going to be very interested in what's coming up next. The different types of construction for kitchen cabinets are two. We have a face frame, which is the top photograph. This has a more traditional look. It's a little stronger. It's also a little more expensive than frameless. Frameless cabinets, or the European style, which is shown with the tilt-up door, the bottom photo, these are kind of sleeker designs, but they don't have to be modern. They can be anything, really. The style is set by the doors and the drawers. These are more vulnerable to what's called racking, which causes the cabinets to become out of square. IKEA cabinets are an example of Euro-style cabinets. And some warnings for you: some cabinet manufacturers do charge much more for the Euro-style cabinets than the face frame cabinets because of demand.
I think it's interesting the title, Cabinets or Furniture for Your Kitchen and Bath. That's true. You can buy junk furniture, particle board with plastic laminate, or you can buy really fine furniture. Here's the difference. When it comes to cabinetry for your kitchen or your bathrooms, that cabinet gets built in, and then there are finishes that are incorporated: countertops, backsplash, appliances. So it's not like taking a junk piece of furniture that's an end table in your living room and throwing it out and investing in a new, finer piece of furniture. Once those cabinets are in, it is expensive to make the change. So tread carefully.
Door and drawer overlay style is also a consideration. The traditional overlay has a space between the edge of the cabinet box and the edge of the door or drawer, and that's shown in the leftmost photograph. The full door covers the entire box, and that's shown in the upper right-hand corner. And then the inset is where the door and drawer are set into the opening, and that's reflected in the lower right photograph.
Is there one that's more costly than the other, Carol, in your experience?
The inset doors are going to be the most costly because of the fine detail in fitting the doors into the opening. I wanted to tell you too that the full door overlay is typical with Euro style cabinets because there is no face frame that has to be covered. All you've got is the door and the drawer that closes the opening up.
And that's the upper right-hand corner photograph, huh?
Yes.
And probably the most popular cabinet is the one on the left, which is the traditional.
Cabinet materials are very important. Plywood can be veneered on one or both sides with either wood, melamine, or plastic laminate. And if you look in this picture, you'll see that the plywood has a beautiful birch veneer, which is very smooth and free of knots and cuts. But plywood is also lighter and stronger than medium density fiberboard. Wood veneered interiors can be painted or stained. That's a real plus, but they are more expensive than MDF. A medium density fiberboard or MDF can be veneered on one or both sides with wood, melamine, or plastic, just like plywood. However, it's much heavier and not nearly as strong as plywood, and it doesn't hold together as well as plywood. Wood veneer interiors can also be painted or stained with MDF, but it's less expensive than plywood. So you get what you pay for. If you want a strong cabinet, you look at a plywood case with a dimensional lumber frame in the front. If you want an more inexpensive cabinet, you look at MDF.
Then we want to talk about the thickness of the cabinet material. You don't want something that's flimsy because it won't hold up. So we want at least a 3/4 inch plywood or MDF for the sides. And it consists, you can also put decorative panels on the outsides of the sides to match your cabinet door, so it gives it a more finished look. The back, again, a 1/4 inch plywood with 3/4 inch wood fastening cleat at the top rear. And the cabinet should be fastened with screws and not nails. The back sides of an island or peninsula can have decorative panels to match the cabinet doors as well. At the front, you want 3/4 dimensional lumber. This is for a face frame cabinet. Shelves, regardless of construction style, should have 3/4 inch plywood or MDF shelves, but the MDF will require additional support to prevent sagging in very wide cabinets.
I hate those sagging shelves. Cabinet configuration, you really can, to some degree, control the overall cost of your cabinets through design. And you need to at least be aware of this. Door and drawer combinations. Let's start with the least expensive. That is a base cabinet with a door, and only a door. Next up is a base cabinet with a door and a drawer, typically the drawer at the top. The next is a base cabinet with a door, drawer, and pullouts. And then finally, the most expensive is a base cabinet that consists of a bank of drawers. And that's because there are so many pieces required to create a drawer.
Now we know that doors move in cabinets, but drawers move with weight in them. So the construction of a drawer is extremely important. Drawer sides can be 1/2-inch MDF, which is the cheapest, weakest, and typically unfinished. They can be 1/2-inch MDF with melamine laminated, which is also the cheapest, weakest, and finished inside or out. Then there's 5/8-inch finger joint birch. Boy, are those drawers the strongest, but they're more expensive, but they can be finished clear, and they're gorgeous. And one that I love is 9-ply 1/2-inch plywood. It's the very strongest, the most expensive, and reserved for heavy, heavy applications, but I like it in all drawer boxes.
I do too.
Okay, the way your drawer is put together is very important as well. The drawer bottoms should be 1/4-inch wood veneer. MDF is the cheapest. Typically, these are unfinished or white. 1/4-inch melamine or laminate veneered MDF, again, are the least expensive, and they can be finished. 1/4-inch melamine or laminate veneered plywood are more expensive, and those are finished. 1/4-inch wood veneer plywood is the most expensive, strongest, and can be clear finished. And the drawer box joinery, which means how they're put together, is really important. So you want dovetail joinery, which is the top picture. You can see like the little teeth in the corners. That is what's called a dovetail. It's the strongest and most expensive. But if you want a cheap drawer, the edges are going to be just kind of shoved together and stapled, and that's not what you want.
Cabinet door hinges, boy, you know, we grew up in a home our grandfather built at the turn of the century, and those old cabinets had surface mount hinges. And we find that in many of the projects that we're doing, we replace the surface mounted hinge with concealed hinge. And that's because the surface mounted hinge has very limited adjustability. It is, however, the least expensive alternative, but it also happens to be the least popular. At the bottom of the photograph, you see a concealed hinge. The best concealed hinge, and there are many, but the best concealed hinge is adjustable in 6 directions: up, down, in, out, left, and right. This particular option is the most expensive and today most popular. People really like concealed hinges. The opening range has something to do with the hinge that you select. Surface mounted hinges, as an example, are limited by door style and thickness. That is to say, the opening range is limited by door style and thickness. Concealed hinges have an average range of 90 to 120 degrees, but they are available up to 170 degrees. I mean, these are just amazing, but you'll pay for it. Those 170-degree hinges are pretty pricey.
Epoxy glides, which are the least expensive, weakest, and don't offer full extension, are shown in the lower right picture. I think most people who would look at those are familiar with them, but ball bearing glides are just by far the very best. You can get full extension side mount glides, but they narrow the door quite a bit as compared to epoxy. The full extension undermount ball bearing glide can potentially make drawers wider, more shallow, but they are weight rated and necessary for deep and wide drawers. And I want you to look at the drawer in the upper right-hand corner, and you'll notice that the drawer slides right into the cabinet edge, and that's because the glides are below the drawer, just like they're shown in the picture on the left. You're looking at the underside of a drawer on the left side to see your undermount glide. And again, ball bearing glides are rated from starting at about, well, the good ones start at about 100 pounds and go up from there. I prefer in my own cabinetry, for me, to use 150-pound glides, and the drawers that I showed you earlier that are so strong, the plywood drawers with the dadoed connections.
That's because you're using them as a stair step to get to the upper cabinets.
Well, they're great. They're great because grandchildren hang on the top drawer and not damage it. That's really important.
The other thing I'd like to mention about the glides is look at that drawer full of dishes. Can you imagine how much that weighs? You know, a stack of 8 dinner plates is pretty hefty load. So you really want to consider what you're going to put into the drawer and tell your cabinet maker that you really want it to have a heavyweight bottom and glides that will work well with a load.
And by the way, you always want to ask for the soft close option. No banging doors, no banging drawers.
Yeah, I failed to mention as part of my discussion on hinges that probably one of the single most popular features in new cabinets are the soft close doors. And they close by themselves and they close softly. And the same is true with the drawers. The epoxy glides in the lower right-hand corner will not allow you to access the rear 20%, 25% of most drawers, in contrast to the full extension that you see in the drawer above. Look at that. Full, absolutely unmitigated accessibility. It's absolutely wonderful.
Okay, so the next daunting thing that you'll have to face is selecting a cabinet door and a drawer face. And you can see by this photograph, there are a lot to choose from. So going through the different construction styles, there is a slab style, which is just perfectly flat, and it's the least expensive, and it's just one piece. Then there are frame styles, which are more expensive. These are usually 5-piece designs, frame in a panel, and the cost is relative to the assembly method, whether it is a mitered corner, like a picture frame, or a butt joint where they're just together, a finger joint, or mortise and tenon, which is a really old style type of construction, but very, very long lasting and very strong. Then the panel styles. You can see from the photograph that there are flat panels, which is typical of your shaker door. A less expensive center panel is flat and consists of a singular thickness. They can also be inserted into the frame or fastened to the back of the frame, which is really not ideal. Raised panel, which are the most expensive. The center panel of the door is thinner at the perimeter and thicker at the center, and gives you various profiles and shapes at the center of the door. Glass doors, of course, these are going to be a little more expensive because of 1, the door, and 2, the cost of the glass. And glass is available in so many different patterns and obscurities that you're going to have a hard time making up your mind.
Cabinet door and drawer profiles and hardware. Let's talk for a moment about edge detail. We don't see this very often, but it's still an option. Hardwareless design. That requires the edge of the door to be beveled to allow for finger grip. This was a very, very popular alternative in years gone by, not nearly as popular today. As a matter of fact, we rarely do a hardwareless design. Folks, generally opt for cabinetry that will accept hardware, and when that's the case, any edge profile may be utilized. On the right, you see a selection of pulls and knobs. Wow, I mean, this really is an opportunity to personalize your kitchen or your bathroom or wherever your cabinets may be. Cabinet pulls dramatically affect the appearance of the installed product. But remember this, consider the cost to purchase and install cabinet pulls. That's something, they can be very inexpensive, $1, $2, or they can be $30 each. It's all a function of size, finish, and quality. They're just wonderful.
Cabinet accessories can dramatically increase storage capacity and accessibility. For example, a Lazy Susan upper and/or a lower are perfect for maximizing space of and access to blind corners. They typically have adjustable shelves, and they can have solid wireframe adjustable shelves as well. Excuse me, solid or wireframe adjustable shelves. But I want to tell you that if the door is attached to the Lazy Susan, you could easily lose a finger. So when you're looking at Lazy Susans, be sure that the doors or door is separate from the Lazy Susan itself. And by the way, that's the picture on the left. And the Lazy Susan you see has a solid base with a rail surrounding. That's very nice, very important to have that rail. And the picture on the left is a half moon, which is an excellent alternative when you don't have space for the Lazy Susan, because in a kitchen, a Lazy Susan comes out of the corner 3 feet in each direction. So it can't always be used depending on the space available. However, a half moon can always be used.
What's nice about that half moon is not only does it swing out, it also pulls out. So you aren't down on your hands and knees digging around looking for anything at the back of it. But, you know, cabinet accessories are numerous. You have pull-out pantries. That's the picture with the green cabinet. These come out to you and you can walk around them and take off whatever it is you'd like from the shelving. There's vertical tray dividers. That's the upper white cabinet. You can see the cookie sheets and the muffin tins all stored on their ends, which gives them gives you more space for more storage. Then we have a trash and recycling pullout. This is just one style. You can have 1, 2, 3, or 4 different bins in it, depending upon what it is you need and how much room you have in your kitchen for this particular accessory.
I absolutely love that pull-out pantry. It's just amazing. And although we're showing the vertical tray divider at a lower cabinet, probably one of the single most popular locations in most modern kitchen designs is above the refrigerator, where formerly there was a shallow 12-inch deep cabinet that's been replaced by a 24-inch deep cabinet so that the refrigerator has a built-in look, and it's just an excellent place for vertical tray dividers. Pull-out shelving and spice racks. Here's another alternative. You saw a moment ago the pull-out pantry. If that doesn't appeal to you, you can do a pantry that has multi-tiered pullouts. See, these are epoxy glides, so they don't pull out all the way, but it's a marvelous alternative to just adjustable shelving. Spice racks, a beautiful spice rack pull out to the right of the range in the lower right-hand corner makes accessing all of your spices a breeze. And who says that you can't have a pull-out or even 2 underneath a bathroom vanity? Look at that. The P-trap is bypassed by creating a U in the upper tray, and it's compartmentalized. It's wonderful. And then, of course, the lower tray pulls out. These are all very practical, affordable accessories that will really create comfort.
I'd like to say too about that U-shaped pull-out. Doesn't have to be a pull-out. It can actually be a drawer in a vanity without doors in front of it, but just a drawer. Very versatile.
Wonderful.
Bygones, bygones, bygones. Used to be that every kitchen had either ceramic tile or formica. And the picture above is a formica top, believe it or not. And the picture below is a tile top. But they're a little different than what we're used to seeing in bygone days. Plastic laminate, of course, is the least expensive and least durable product available. It's easy to damage, but it's a great DIY project and typically comes with its own backsplash. The edge can be rolled, square, or decorative like the one in the picture, depending on manufacturer, and it comes in a myriad of colors, patterns, and textures. And of course, there's ceramic tile, which is the next step up in cost. It is the biggest expense associated, the biggest expense associated with tile is its installation labor. Tile actually isn't very expensive, but due to the advent of solid surface materials and the elimination of grout, ceramic tile is not as popular as it once was. However, ceramic tile is still very durable and individual tiles can be replaced when damaged, but it's still a really popular choice for floors and wet walls.
It's hard to believe that the photograph above is plastic laminate. It's really amazing. It's just beautiful. Morris, share the story when you 30 years ago remodeled your kitchen and put granite in and what you're
I put in back in the days when granite was in its literally its infancy. I put granite in my kitchen, and I had a 10-foot by 42-inch wide island. The kitchen was like 27 feet long, so granite was a big deal. And my son came over to visit one day. He had previously seen the kitchen, and he leaned with his hand on the kitchen countertop, and he said, "Boy, this formica really looks good." If you only knew how much that formica cost.
By the way, I have granite tile, and tile you can get. I have 12-inch by 12-inch granite tile on my counters as opposed to slab granite, and that's an alternative for fewer grout lines, and you still get a lovely look of granite.
Well, there's more to countertops and backsplashes. And first up here is Corian. And we have Corian, and we have an integral sink, just like the photograph at the top. All one piece, no maintenance. Corian is the next step up in cost. It was introduced in the early 70s, and the selling point was that it was grout-free, durable, easy to clean, and repairable. A great alternative to laminate and tile. It can be used for countertops, backsplashes, and like I said, you can get integral sinks, and you can do wet walls in this. It's also available in a variety of colors and patterns, and you can do all kinds of decorative edge details with it. Corian also has a quartz line product called Corian Quartz, but it is a different material. Granite, of course, is sort of like the bright and shiny child that everyone wants. It's the next step up in cost. Granite's been and continues to be one of the most popular solid surface materials. It's extremely durable and very easy to clean. Be sure to make sure your fabricator seals it, which will make it even easier to maintain. Granite's available in a limitless color choice and patterns and surface finishes. And remember that Mother Nature makes this material, so Every piece is going to be a little bit different with a little different movement in it and maybe a little different coloration. So have
I,
fun selecting that.
I just love both of these projects. To note that there's a mix of finishes. There's the Korean countertop and a tile splash square set. Beautiful. And of course, you can design to your heart's content. You can go herringbone, you can go subway, offset, whatever. Beautiful. And then the granite counter below, this client is a geologist and he really loves natural stone. He got exactly what he wanted. And again, I can't tell, is that a tumbled marble backsplash, Carol, or travertine?
Yes, it is.
It's beautiful. Look at the radius cabinet in the upper and lower left-hand corners. Radius cabinets are something that you can incorporate into your design. Just beautiful, beautiful details. And we see a lot of people getting rid of nook tables and incorporating a breakfast bar into an island, and that's what these people did. Really an amazing, amazing, efficient, and wonderful kitchen.
And be aware too that granite only comes in slabs so big. So if you need something like that photograph that was very long, you're going to have two and book match them when the fabrication is going on.
And book match is?
Joining ends of two different slabs so the veining continues.
Some continuity.
Yes.
Okay, quartzite. It looks and feels like granite, but it's harder and less porous. Harder and less porous. If you look at some of these materials under a microscope, it's like looking at Swiss cheese. And you know what that means when it comes to maintenance, durability, and cleaning. Quartzite is typically available in lighter colors than granite and is easier to maintain. The cost of quartzite is generally more expensive than granite. Marble, that's in the lower right-hand corner. Unlike granite, marble's not stone. It's soft, porous rock that is easily stained with mild acids such as, all right, here we go, citrus, alcohol, hairspray, fragrances, wine, nail polish remover, and other solvent-based or acidic compounds. Marble is among the most expensive solid surface products. It's available in tiles as well, yet it's the least durable of the natural materials. And then probably one of the most popular, quartz. That's a man-made material that consists of natural stone and resins. It's formed into quite durable and attractive low porosity solid surface material through a process of heat and pressure. It's among the most expensive choices, but has really become one of the most popular choices because it appeals to consumers who are looking for a low maintenance and attractive alternative to other solid surface materials. So the upper right-hand corner is quartz, quartzite to the left, and marble to the lower right.
In the picture on the left, you'll see an island which is made of granite. You have to be careful when you're sizing things like an island, because if you get too big, you may need, well, 6 square feet of extra material, which means a whole extra sheet of granite that you'll have to pay for. By the way, a counter edge detail, as the one you see in the picture on the left, can actually double the cost of a countertop. Aesthetics aside, a backsplash will protect walls and adjacent cabinets from damage, and backsplash material, height, pattern, and complexity are very important. Backsplash material doesn't need to match the countertop material, although it can if you choose. The backsplash is a way to add real wow to your kitchen or bathroom using tile or a mix of finishes. You can create a border patterns, mosaics, or interest in or interesting edge details. And I think that the backsplash on the right is kind of crazy, but it looks kind of nice, huh?
I think it's interesting.
To each his own. They're two very different looks. I think that's what's wonderful about what we do. There are no two, unlike buying a car where, you know, you can get the same car over and over and over. No two projects are exactly the same. And that's what makes what we do so much fun.
Yes, no cookie cutters.
James, it's been about an hour. Do you want to take a 5-minute break?
That'd be fine.
All right.
And then we can launch, this is the first time we've done this, so we can launch maybe some Q&A also, time permitting. So why don't we take a quick break, and we'll be back right after this. And we are back. And these are things to think about when designing your backsplash. And I think this is yours, is it not, Carol?
No, it's yours,
No,
James.
it's mine.
Oh, is
Huh?
it?
Okay,
All
boy,
right.
everybody wants to be first here. Well, I'll tell you that first you want to decide how high you want to have your backsplash. Do you want it to be low, like 4 inches and expose the wall? Or do you want it to go up to the bottom of your cabinets, like the picture of the white kitchen? This is very popular to do a full backsplash. If you have a hood, you can take it all the way up to the bottom of the range hood. If you have a chimney style hood, you can take it all the way up to the ceiling. There are no rules anymore. Uh, you can put it around windows where there are no cabinets. And again, you can take it to the ceiling. For your choices, tiles are very popular material. And if you walk into a tile store, your eyes will roll back in your head and you'll turn around and walk out because where do you start? You see pictures in magazines, you go to friends' homes, you get ideas. Uh, it's easy to install. You can design just about anything. So it doesn't matter uh, what the tile is, there's lots you can do with it. Slab material, like your countertop, you can run up the walls. You can do something that's very simple and square and straight. You can also contour a slab material to be something interesting. It's a very elegant, smooth look, and it's very easy to clean, but it can be pretty pricey.
Might be nice to point out here that farmhouse sinks have grown in popularity, and they're available in enameled cast iron, stainless steel. Kohler makes a beautiful stainless steel farmhouse sink, fire clay, and these high arc commercial style faucets are really popular. They're beautiful, but the sky's the limit. It's a very clean look. You don't see an air gap. You don't see a soap dispenser. You don't see a lot of clutter. So the idea is to eliminate as much clutter as possible. Beautiful, beautiful finishes. And note in the cabinet on the right, the pulls at the upper cabinet are different than the pulls at the lower cabinet. So you can mix and match. Flooring.
Oh, good morning.
What's underfoot? Sheet vinyl. Remember sheet vinyl?
I'm
Boy,
underfoot.
I'll tell you, wall-to-wall sheet vinyl. We had coved vinyl. We had vinyl with rubber base. We had vinyl with wood base, coved. Armstrong Solarian. That was the thing. And before that, there was linoleum. In the upper left-hand picture, that's a kitchen that Carol and Janie recently did. That client wanted something durable, that was reasonably priced, and that had the fewest number of seams possible. And so they opted for a sheet goods. This is called marmoleum. It's very cost efficient. However, if you drop a knife, you can damage it. Repairs can be extensive, but it is repairable, and there is limited design flexibility. In the lower left corner is probably one of the most popular styles of flooring in the last decade, and they're called floating floors. They're quite inexpensive, easy DIY installation, can be used virtually anywhere in the home, can be installed over existing material. If it doesn't lock appliances in, be careful because there are height limitations. But as you can see from the photograph, it goes over a pad, interlocks, one and done. The cons, it damages easily, it doesn't play well with water, and can sound hollow as you walk across a room, especially if the substrate is not particularly level. So the more level the floor, the less hollow the installed product will sound. One of the Most popular alternatives for what's underfoot these days is something called LVT, or luxury vinyl tile. That's what you see on the right in a bathroom. Now, we installed the whole house with the same brand of product, and in the bathroom we did luxury vinyl tile. It's durable, it's waterproof, it can match surrounding engineer wood, and it's repairable. However, it can be a little pricey, and they have not yet come out with as many transition pieces that will make installation look seamless.
Engineered hardwood is an amazing product. The nice thing about it, it can be installed over concrete or other existing materials like sheet vinyl or tile. It can be glued or floated in, but you need to use caution here. Whenever you're laying floors over existing floors, you can lock appliances into cabinetry. So remember that your dishwasher may eventually have to come out. So if you're doing this kind of flooring in your kitchen, you want to make sure that your dishwasher is removed, that the flooring is raised under the dishwasher as well, and the legs on the dishwasher are lowered so that it'll come in and out after the floor is done. Finished in place hardwood, that's the Bentley of flooring. It's very durable. It is a lifetime floor. It can be refinished many, many times. Unfortunately, it's very pricey. Cannot be installed over concrete unless you use a wood underlayment first, and it's not good for wet areas.
Oh, flooring, flooring, and more flooring. So here's some more options for you. We have ceramic tile, porcelain tile, and stone tile. The pros of this can be installed over concrete and wood. If you have a really heavy tile, the wood floor should be strengthened a little bit. It's easy to clean when it's properly sealed. The tile can be replaced when it's damaged. Has great design flexibility. And the cons are the grout cleaning. No one likes to clean grout anymore, and it can be slippery. So a little tip for you: when you're looking for a bathroom floor, take a bottle of water to the tile store with you, pour a little on your finger, rub it over the tile. If it feels like you're ice skating, put it down and walk away. Go find something else with a little more slip resistant.
Aging in place, that's a big, big concern for so many who are remodeling. Whether you need assistance or not, it makes good sense to plan. Safety and comfort are essential for an aging parent, a physically challenged family member, or for your future personal needs. And the upper left, lower right in the photograph are combo toilet paper holder grab bars. But don't put these directly into sheetrock. These need to go into solid framing. The same is true with the other two products shown in the lower left, upper right. The upper right is a grab bar, towel bar combination in solid framing. And for assistance at the toilet, there are bars on either side. Wonderful alternatives.
Aging in place doesn't have to look institutional. You want to note at the upper left, in the center picture above, you'll notice big wood blocks horizontally placed between the wall studs. That's backing for grab bars and components such as benches and other safety equipment so that it can be installed soundly. If you'll notice in the picture in the lower left, by the way, that's a curbless shower. In the picture in the upper left, that is a folding bench. It folds away out of the shower when it's not needed. And of course, the photograph on the right shows that a grab bar can easily be matched to your shower accessories and be a beautiful combination.
Having mobility issues doesn't mean that things have to be very institutional again. We have a walk-in bathtub here for a gentleman who was having knee surgery, couldn't get in and out of a bathtub, and he loves to soak. The bottom picture is a shower that was designed for a lady that was going to be in a wheelchair, where the doors are doubled so they open out and she can roll right into the shower. Plenty of plumbing fixtures to use there, shower valves at a height that are easy to reach, and everything done for safety. The picture of the vanity was designed for someone that was in a chair and needed to have access to the sink faucet. And this allows them to roll underneath the vanity and reach the hot and cold water and the water faucet. So it doesn't have to look like a hospital to have a beautiful space in your home.
Now we've got a few before and after pictures that people so often enjoy. This is a great bathroom for an older couple, and the vanity they wanted to remain. He actually built the vanity, but they wanted everything else to be different. They wanted accessibility into the shower, formerly a tub. Happened to have an existing wall-hung toilet, which is rare, a new wall-hung toilet, some improved lighting. That is a porcelain tile plank floor that looks like wood. It really turned out beautifully.
Oh, I love this bathroom. This was the ugliest, most mildew-infested bathroom I've ever seen, with terrible paneling, rotten baseboard, crinkled vinyl. And the lower two pictures represent the remodel, showing a brand new pedestal lav, an oval frame mirror, gorgeous lighting, terrific looking baseboard. Look at the difference between just the baseboard alone, and the flooring is just absolutely elegant, and a new bathtub with the surround that goes all the way up. Isn't that beautiful?
It is beautiful.
Yep.
And it's textured, which is hard to see in this picture. This bathroom goes with the vanity you saw for the couple that wanted to keep the vanity. So this is what they had. They had a bathtub. It was very dark. They're in their 80s. It's hard to get in and out of. Having someone assist them is almost not possible here. So this is the new shower area that was created for them. It's light, it's bright, it's easy to clean, it's easy to get in and out of because it has a curbless shower, has a door that opens 30 inches wide, which is much wider than an average shower door, and a place to put their bath products as well, and a grab bar to help them get up, and a place to hang. That funny little thing over the grab bar is a place to hang a hand shower. So all in all, much better for them.
This I just love. This really speaks to what so many people are looking for, and that's open space. You see that the buttress wall comes out between the shower and the garden tub. We're taking out so many tubs that we installed 35 years ago because people have aged and can't get into them, or they like the look of a freestanding tub. So the framed shower enclosure came out, a new beautiful clear glass shower enclosure went in, a low threshold. The shower is actually larger, a beautiful built-in niche, tile design, which is carried through to the area where the tub is. And if you'll look in the lower photograph to the right, that is a mirrored door that goes into the walk-in closet. You can see the hammered copper skirted freestanding tub with the fireplace. It really is gorgeous.
This is one of my favorites. You'll notice it says after with no before, and that's because when we took this project on, it was just a mess of studs and nothing else. So the after shows, of course, this beautiful freestanding tub with a floor mounted spout. The tub inside is cast iron enamel. The shower has a clear glass frame all the way around a bench, a gorgeous, gorgeous tile pattern, beautiful flooring, and lovely, isn't that French door with the obscure glass? Gorgeous. I just love this particular bathroom.
And although that flooring looks like hardwood, it's really porcelain plank tile. It's just a beautiful, durable finish.
And who wouldn't want a chandelier in their bathroom, right? So here's another before and after kitchen. This is in a 110-year-old house that in downtown Brentwood that we remodeled. The top picture is the existing cabinetry that was there. It wasn't necessarily worn out, but it needed modernizing and better access to what you would store inside the cabinet. So the bottom photograph is the final design for the kitchen. We have grids on the French door going outside. We have grids in the upper cabinets to carry the theme through. We wanted to put something that might be found in a kitchen of 100 years ago, which were typically painted cabinets. So here we are with a much more updated kitchen with a period look.
Before and after kitchen, one of my favorites. This client was happy with the casework. The cabinets are nicely constructed. They have nice accessories, and they didn't want to change the configuration. It's quite efficient. Nice granite tops, but they were tired of the dark wood. So we refinished the cabinets. Keep in mind that those are oak cabinets, and that if you do decide to paint your cabinet, you could end up with grain telescoping through unless you fill and sand and fill and sand. But that's not really necessarily an issue. But you can see all we did was refinish the cabinetry, 2 colors, by the way. The island is a different color. That is increasingly popular. And the chandelier, in place of the ceiling pendant light that formerly existed, really made this an elegant kitchen.
I just love simplicity. And this is a keynote of that simplicity. By the way, in the picture on the left, the cabinet near the window was just about to fall off the wall. And don't you just love the orange carpet? Well, that kitchen is a little bit dark, and we brightened it quite a bit by using lighter cabinetry, lighter flooring, and lighter appliances. You notice the white microwave as opposed to the black one, the white oven as opposed to the black range. Then in the third photograph, the right side of the kitchen, you see the black cabinets again, and no tile splash, and that unusual orange floor. Those cabinets are covered with slab doors that have Formica on MDF. They were very, very cheap cabinets. The cabinets that were put in are just gorgeous, very structural. And I don't know if you like the cherry, but that's just one of many available finishes. I just love what was done in this kitchen. Look at that full splash.
I think it's telling that you can see in the photograph to the left, the upper cabinet in the corner is falling down. And you can see the chase for the range hood, which has been eliminated in the new scheme, so that the cabinets go up to the ceiling, providing more space. And if you look at the wallboard there above the range, you'll see that there was sheetrock that was damaged. So, and to the picture, the third picture, look at the top drawer. It's, the glides are just shot. These people really deserved this kitchen, I gotta tell you.
Okay, this is one of my favorites. We had a dark kitchen with a beautiful floor. The floor was overdone, I think, for the kitchen. It's a beautiful tile that's bordered with black granite. And we wanted to keep the floor, so the footprint of the kitchen stayed the same, the floor tiles stayed the same, but the new cabinets were fully accessorized with all the latest features. Nothing was really moved around. Uh, and we gave it a nice light color with these doors and drawers are pretty fancy. They have a rope design in them, and they're also glazed. So the rope design stands out and really details every nook and cranny in those cabinets. A new wood hood as opposed to the microwave above. The lighting stayed pretty much the same. We had an under cabinet lighting. And this kitchen really got something special. 2 copper sinks and 2 copper faucets. And copper is great at, it's kind of antimicrobial. It's just a byproduct of the copper. So beautiful new kitchen, much brighter than the old.
Okay, what's it gonna cost? Well, the Remodeling magazine, working with the National Association of Realtors and contractors across the country, publish an annual cost versus value report. And it's by region. In this case, we've selected the San Francisco Bay Area region. There are 4 columns. The first column is the project type. The second is the San Francisco Bay Area cost, resale value, and cost recouped. The third column is the Pacific region, which consists of about 20 to 25% of the West, the US. And finally, the fourth column are national averages. So if you look at an upscale number 4, a bath remodel upscale, the job cost in San Francisco Bay Area, depending upon the finishes that are selected, is about $86,000. The resale value is $61,000 coming out the gate. Of course, that will grow with time for a recouped cost of 71%. The Pacific average is a little bit less, about $10,000 less, and then the national average is about $10,000 less. Note, however, that the return on investment for the San Francisco Bay Area is the highest of all areas. So this gives you an example of what the costs are, but costs range, and remember, it depends on the size and complexity of the project and the amount of work, and of course, the finishes involved.
We want to really thank you so much for being a part of our presentation today. We hope that our time spent will help you be a more informed consumer. I hope we have opened your eyes to some details that you might not have considered in the past, some ideas that you might not have thought about, some finishes that you weren't familiar with. We hope that you go away from this presentation knowing a little bit more about doing a kitchen or bath remodel, an addition, or some sort of home, any other home improvement to your home. Thank you so very, very much.
Oh, health, happiness, and joy is what we wish for all of you. Make sure that your contractor delivers a top quality product to you. And that's only second to bringing others pleasure, comfort, value, happiness, and joy. and how lucky we are to do what we do, and we love it and we share it with others for 40 years. And this gentleman really took a liking to Morris.
Yeah, aging in place improvements for this gentleman who is challenged with Parkinson's, and there were various levels making it difficult to traverse his floor. The carpet had to go, a solid surface flooring went in, and of course, bathroom improvements and accessibility. Just a wonderful, wonderful couple and very nice people. Now, if I see we have a question, and if I can find out how to access the question aspect of this system, I think I have it. What do you think of the swing doors for showers over bathtubs? Seen in Europe, we want to keep a tub for family with children.
Can I answer that question?
Yep.
Okay, so there's a thing called a bath screen. It doesn't close the bathtub in entirely. It's a panel of glass that has a hinge swing on it, and it can be installed at the water end of a bathtub and swung out of the way to allow entry into the tub and to close to keep the water splash out of the bathroom. So I wouldn't close the bathtub area off all the way, especially with children that you're going to be need to assisting with a bath.
I think if the plan layout allows, you can use 2 swinging doors as opposed to sliding doors. I think that's personal choice. But you want to remember that doors can never swing in. They must always swing out. That is the law, and it's a great safety feature. If the door can only swing in and someone falls against the door, how are you going to get in there to help them?
Okay, here's another question. Do you have any feeling about a freestanding tub as opposed to a built-in tub? Are they more expensive?
The answer to that is yes, they're more expensive. Yes, the plumbing fixtures for them, the faucets, the bath fillers, if there is no way to put the plumbing fixtures onto the tub itself, you're going to need something that sits on the floor, and that's pretty pricey. Also, if you have a slab floor, a floor mounted plumbing fixture is going to be difficult if the floor has to be opened up for the plumbing to be installed to it. The other thing is you're going to need some room to walk around the tub to clean, and you're going to need to protect the wall at the around the tub so it's waterproof.
We design in freestanding tubs, and we design in inset tubs and corner tubs. But the bottom line is we design those based on the individual's desire. One, what does the individual most want? And 2, is that within their budget? Sometimes folks have a champagne taste and a beer budget. And I will tell you this about a freestanding tub of any kind: they are expensive. And how do you take a shower in a freestanding tub? So it's possible. There are curtains that go all the way around. But if you have a freestanding tub, you're probably going to want a shower. So that's 2 separate features. With a tub, you can have a shower over the tub.
And I'm going to open it up to Carolina, who has a question. Hi, Carolina. Are you there?
Yes. Let's see. Unmute. That's me.
That's you.
This has been very interesting. Thank you. But we are more interested in a bathroom, and I'm an old lady. What kind of walk-in shower with no tub, where you can sit also while you wash your feet, would you recommend?
I would do a curbless shower. It has no rim to step over. You can just simply walk right into the shower. The floor is sloped in the shower itself to drain into
Back.
what's called a lineal drain. And you can put either a bench, you can build the bench in. You saw that in some of the photographs of the bathrooms, or you could put in a fold down seat, which is also very doable.
Seats
Does
are
that
really
answer your question, Carolina?
Yes, thank you very much. That really is helpful. We'll take a look.
wonderful. You can ask a live question or you can type your question, one or the other. Here's one. That is, what is the most durable flooring for a kitchen?
Vinyl.
Well, I think a lot has to do with what kind of floor it is. Is it a concrete floor or a wood floor? I think I've had vinyl, I've had tile, and I've had wood. Um, the wood you have to be careful with because you have to wipe up the water. The luxury vinyl tile is something new. It looks great. I think that would be the most forgiving floor and the easiest to walk on and stand on for a long period of time.
Yeah, luxury vinyl tile has, as far as I'm concerned, has replaced my favorite floor, which is the vinyl floor. And that's because you could buy a vinyl in 12-foot wide sheets, making seams almost non-existent in most spaces. And it was easy to install and expensive to install. Easy to upgrade 10 years later, easy to reinstall. Vinyl that has the color that goes all the way through it, like luxury vinyl tiles and some of the better linoleums, vinyl flooring, sheet goods, are my favorite two choices. I think that the easier install is the luxury vinyl tile because it's a DIY material, but it sure looks good.
And Darlene has a question, and you can ask your question live, Darlene.
Hello. Can you hear
Hello.
me? Hi, Carol.
How are you?
I'm doing good, thanks. My question is, we're contemplating putting a walk-in tub in a smaller bathroom. And Carol, I know you know I have the peach tree, so you know it's small. And, putting a pedestal sink instead of a cabinet sink. And then what are your thoughts on the walk-in tubs?
We have a walk-in tub. Our bathroom is 5 feet wide, and which is the width of most standard bathrooms. We have room for the walk-in tub, a toilet, and a very small vanity. We probably should have chosen a pedestal lav because I love them, but we got the cabinet because a little bit more storage, but a very small cabinet. So our guest bathroom has the walk-in tub. It is absolutely amazing. They have aromatherapy, they have chromotherapy. There are a million jets. You can get a hand shower for them. They really are quite wonderful. And they're made 4 feet in length, so they'll fit just about any bathroom. If you have a 5-foot bathroom like we do, then they add a 1-foot piece to the end, or you could do it in a 6-foot bathroom where they would add a 2-foot piece. So any bathroom that is 4 feet or wider will hold a walk-in tub, and they are gorgeous.
And you
What's
can,
nice about the walk-in tub is they have quick fill water supplies or faucets, and they have quick drains. So they drain really fast because you can't open the door until the water's out. And you want the door closed and get the water in relatively quickly so you're not sitting there in the cold.
I don't have a name, but I have the last 4 digits of the phone number, 9930. Welcome. Ask your question. Are you there? Go right ahead. You may
Hello?
speak. Okay, while we're waiting to see if this individual who has raised their hand wants to join us, Carolina writes, what type of non-slip tile do you recommend for bathroom flooring?
Carolina, take a bottle of water with you, go to a tile store, pour some water onto your fingers and run it across the tile. If it feels like you're ice skating, put that tile down and find something with a little more texture. It'll be a lot more slip resistant. You can even get a tile that feels like sandpaper, believe it or not, which you just will not slip on. But there are varying degrees of smoothness to tiles.
You can ask specifically in a tile store for a tile designed to be used on floors that isn't slick, and the clerk in the store will show you those products, but you should be prepared to test them nonetheless.
Norma writes, thank you so much for putting on this webinar. Very informative. Norma, we're glad you enjoyed it. Another question is gas or electric for cooktops?
I spent some time working in restaurants when I was a youngster, and a couple of years, and I just prefer gas. And here's the reason. The recovery rate of gas is the best of all heating sources. When you put a piece of chicken or a piece of meat into a frying pan to saute it or brown it, it cools the pan off. The meat is cold, it cools the pan off. The gas brings the pan back up to temperature faster than electric or induction. So the reason I prefer gas is because of the extremely high recovery rate. Furthermore, gas cooktops can be purchased with extremely high BTU burners that gives a wonderful char without going outside to the barbecue in a matter of moments. You can also do wok cooking on a really good gas cooktop. So gas, gas, gas.
Okay, are you going to comment on tiny houses? Yeah, let's comment on that. Accessory dwelling units got the biggest green light that they've ever had as of January 1st, when the governor signed in about 18 construction-related bills. A full 5 of those bills related to accessory dwelling units, relaxing the standards, lowering the planning and permit fees, expediting turnaround of the planning and permit, plan review and permit, diminishing setbacks, that is side yard and rear yard proximity to property lines. Minimizing the requirements for off-street covered parking. A lot of different improvements have been made because of the housing shortage in Northern California, primarily in the Bay Area. And we have seen a tremendous influx in interest in primarily detached accessory dwelling units and some attached. So we would invite you to check with your local building, really your planning and building department. They have their own set of rules. They must comply in general with what the state requires, but they also can adopt some local codes. But in general, accessory dwelling units are now being welcomed with open arms.
I'd
Leonard.
like to say that James and Carol and I have been to 100 um, home shows all throughout the country, not to mention the myriad of them in Northern California. And it's often the case that these small homes are on display. And it's just unbelievable how many choices there are that are available. And these can be moved into your backyard and rented. And I will tell you that, boy, the money for rentals, I am glad I'm in a house already because the prices are just through the roof.
Yeah, tiny houses. I just love some of these tiny houses. And is
And the mortgage rate is 1%.
Well, I have a friend who lives up in Paradise who lost their home. She did buy a new home that was being sold by a gentleman who was leaving the area, which was very lucky for her. But she has enough space on her lot to put an auxiliary unit, and we were talking about a modular tiny house. So, you know, if you do have some extra space and it is allowed, tiny houses are great and they're so efficient. It's almost scary to think what you can live in.
Just remember that zoning has a great deal to do with tiny house addition to property. You have a big lot. If you want to put 3 tiny houses on there because you have room, keep in mind that that probably won't be allowed. The new zoning allows for an additional unit, in some cases 2, but 1 is normally the rule.
Leonard has a question. Leonard wants to know about a coil cooktop versus a glass cooktop.
Glass is easier to clean. Induction cook.
Doesn't have to be induction. It can
It doesn't have to be induction, but induction heat works a little bit better. I wouldn't use coil. If I did want to use electrical, I would use either a glass top or an induction top. And the simple reason is because those 2 surfaces are so easy to keep clean. And the old coil top stoves are just, as far as I'm concerned, just not worth the difficulty that's associated with their maintenance. In a gas cooktop, you can pull everything apart in 2 minutes, in 20 seconds, clean the stainless steel surface and put everything back, and job done. But cleaning those coils once they've had food drip on them is miserable.
Amy
unless you're doing a retro kitchen, then you're going to have to stick with coils,
Yeah,
I'm afraid.
yeah. A turquoise coiled range.
And we have about 5 minutes left, so if you have a question, you can raise your hand, type it in, or you can ask it live. Amy wants to know, she says, I'm getting tired of my microwave hood. I've seen microwave drawers below counter. What are your thoughts?
Oh, we love them. Adrian, what is it? Is it a speed oven?
Well, there's a speed oven and there's a microwave, and you can get them in drawers, actually.
Are they full extension?
No, you have to go and see them, because depending upon what you use your microwave for, if it's just heating, steaming vegetables or melting chocolate or butter, then a microwave drawer is perfect. Cooking casseroles and things like that is also pretty easy in a microwave. And definitely getting rid of that microwave hood. But if your hood is a recirculating type now, the microwave, then you're going to have to be prepared to vent a new hood to the exterior, which might add some cost to it.
Right, and you don't have to use a drawer. We commonly install door-style microwave ovens in the lower cabinets. And people seem to love those. And we've been doing those for several years. There are pros and cons to the drawers that we did a whole program on it, didn't we once?
Yeah, the microwave drawers can also, they have safety features to lock children out of them. So if
Yeah.
that's an issue, that is definitely not a problem anymore.
Microwave drawers also cost $1,300 to $1,900, where microwaves are still in the $100 range.
Leonard wants to know, what about cast iron cookware?
Cast iron cookware? What's the brand that we have?
We don't have cast iron cookware.
What's that red one?
Oh, that is a La Cousette.
La Cousette.
It's a porcelain on cast iron, and they're wonderful. They're very heavy, and they cook very evenly.
One of the things you have to do with cast iron is use salt and oil to clean the pan. Eventually, the oil that's left in the pan will create a glaze at the bottom. And after, curing for several cooking events, there is nothing like cast iron. I use La Cousette, which has a nonstick coating, which is probably the best I have ever used since I started cooking 50 years ago. And I just recently found it a couple of years ago, and that's because we have a La Cousette Dutch oven that we use, which again is cast iron. But cast iron, I love it. I really love it. My dad used nothing but cast iron.
Sharon writes, we have a trash compactor. I didn't see any trash compactors in the photographs in your presentation. Are they still being used?
Yes, they are, but you can't get the great big ones anymore. Like I think was about 20 inches.
No, 18 inches.
18 inches. Most of them are about 15 now. And people are taking those out and they're replacing them with recycling and trash pullouts.
Right. The deal is that we have cans and bottles, and we have garbage, and we have paper products. And so 2 or 3 bins has become more commonplace. If you want a trash compactor, bless you, they're wonderful. Whirlpool makes a great one. Amana makes a great one.
Okay.
So yes, they are still available.
And we'll wrap things up with Rich in the minute that we have left. What brand of toilet do you recommend?
Toto.
Toto.
I think that's 6 thumbs up. We like Toto. Kohler's beautiful. American Standard, great. But we have Toto. They're just really water efficient. They flush the first time. By the way, if you have not looked into the Toto washlet, which is a combination bidet toilet seat, you may want to do that because they're just absolutely marvelous.
And you can save toilet paper.
Yeah, I want to say this. There is a terrific American toilet made in Kohler, Wisconsin, that we have also.
The Champion.
And it's a Champion. It's a 2-piece toilet. It's
1.28 gallons.
1.28 gallons of water, less than any other toilet ever previously made. It works like a charm. It is a jewel in the crown of the United States. Toto is good. It's far more expensive. It's great, but Kohler is a lower priced alternative made in America that works beautifully.
Thank you for attending this, our very first virtual design and remodeling seminar. We hope that you found the information helpful, and by all means, if you should have other questions, please feel free to reach out. And blessings to you and your family during this challenging time. We hope that we all have good things to look forward to down the road. Have a wonderful day.
Bye.
Bye-bye.